Yeah, good day. Let's talk on the overviews. So let's talk on just something about vtupress. Just a quick glance on the options here and what it does and what you should be expecting when you click on any of them. So this is the main dashboard. As you can see, it is the active one, and you can see that from this part. You see the tabs here. Let me see the models here. So you can see just the preview. Let me say an overview of some major things which you need to know. And the messages, there is an inline messaging system on vtupress whereby you can interact with your users. You can answer, chat, or something. So you can start a message, you can reply to messages, and that's just that about that. So the notifications here are just some basic notifications of maybe transfer or whatever. So there is more to that. This history is where you find your histories, like fund history. That's when users fund the account, like when they fund the account or something. And you can see at this part here, airtime, the pending transactions. So in case if a user makes a transaction and it's pending, maybe the provider you're connected to is not available or something, you just click on the pending and then you mark it successful or something. So the successful one, these are just logs. Failed one, failed airtime purchases, and so on. Same applies to the data cable, the bill, the transfers, the withdrawal requests, the airtime conversion, the unrecorded. This unrecorded here is very useful in sense that in some cases some people are having a very low, or let me say a very poor site configuration. So imagine when a script times out in just 2 seconds or 3 seconds or something. So before a transaction is being placed, before a transaction has been placed, they are logged on this unrecorded, and once it's successful or failed, they are removed and placed appropriately. For example, if it's an airtime transaction, before it's being sent to the provider, it's been logged here. Once it's been logged under the airtime pending or successful or failed or whatever, it will be removed here automatically. So in case if the server times out, that maybe it's an incomplete transaction, you can just find them here. In case if you can't find any transactions here, you can find them here. So transaction webhook here, this one logs for those who makes use of transaction webhooks for the provider. It's not always, because not almost everyone makes use of the webhook system. So but in some cases some might just want to make use of it, so they can just like copy the webhook and paste on the provider account, and then once the provider sends any feedback for any purchases or transaction, they are being logged here. Same thing applies to wallet webhook. Okay, so it's just as simple as that. Apart from that, what are we having here again? We've gone through this. So the settings, this general settings is where we talk about some basic things such as enabling debug. So this, you should leave this at no as at this part here, because if you use yes here, once a user is logged in and wants to make a transaction, will be seeing something like under development, so they won't be able to make transactions because the debug mode is set to yes. So this is required when there's an issue with your website or something. Maybe you want to debug and maybe you're out of service, you don't want people to have access to some stuffs, so you just turn it on. So the templates here, we have 3 templates currently on vtupress. We have the MS Song inspired templates, we have the classic, we have the default. So if we select default, let's just try to like check on that. So you can check on that from this part here. So actually there are two ways in which you can access the front end. You can see I added a link which is /vp account. You can actually do the same by just clicking on this part here. So clicking on that part, we actually redirect to the front end, which is the user dashboard, where you can see things. So from this part here, you can see what I'm having here. This is the default template as we've selected here. You can see that here. You can see we have, this is the default template. We are having the classic template. So let me save that and then reload the front end to see what changes it makes. Okay, so this is the default, this is the classic template. Then lastly, we are having the MS search template. So let's refresh that. So you can see from this part, this is the MS search template. So it is actually inspired from MS search. All right, so furthermore, we have the enable registrations. If you set this to no, users will not be able to register on your website. So registration complete message, once a user registers, there are some settings. So like, let me say welcome to Beta Bundles or something, you can just use welcome to Beta Bundles here. You can see that here. So once a user registers, this is the message they will see once they've registered. So this log out redirection, so that is once a user logs out, where should they be taken to? So by default they will be taken back to the dashboard, but they won't be seeing this part here. They will be seeing the registration page. You understand? So both the registration, the everything, the login page and whatever, everything is being displayed on this same dashboard, this same page. Now maximum ideal time out in minutes. So once a user is idle, how many minutes should it take before the system times that user out? So you direct WP default registration or whatever. So that is once you want to, or let me say once you access the WordPress default registration, or let me say default login page, should they be taken back to this part here? So let me just try to just show you what this means. So now I'm setting it. Okay, let me just show you from this part. So let me try to put up on those whatever. So ideally you can just access your backend using the WP admin, and then they will take you to, it will take you to this login page here, which you can see from here. But then if you set this to yes, what it does is it will direct the user for, instead of anybody to just access this part here, they will be taken to the VP account page. You can see it's already redirected. So anyone who access that /WP admin here, once you access it, you'll be taken back to the VP account. You can see that is taking them back to this place. It redirects actually. So that's that about that. So let me not waste your time. Okay, all right, so there are just basic infos here which you just need to fill. Allow users to enter their referral ID on registration. That is, do you want, that's for those who are making use of this network marketing system whereby they can just like refer people to your website or whatever. So you can set that to false. Enable beneficiaries, that is, once user makes his transaction, the numbers, or let me say the whatever the recipient in which is getting the value is being stored on the website against further transactions. So you can set that to yes, you can set that to no as well. So hide the Y button from user. So in some cases there might be issue with the provider in which you are connected to. So if you set this to false and the user makes a transaction, you will only be saying something like let me say you will be seeing just the failed transaction, or transaction is not successful, or transaction pending, without knowing the main reason. So but for the admin, you can just come to the history and then check. Okay, I think I've tried that for data. Oh, sorry, for bill payments. Let me see if I have a log here. Yeah, there is always a response. Okay, it's not appearing on this, but it should be. I'm trying to scroll right to see. Okay, it's not available for data. I think it's only for it's not available for bill payment. I think it's available for only data. So what I'm trying to say is there will be a response, an API response, but if we set that to, let me say, true, if you set that to true, once there's an issue with the transaction, there will be a response. It may be the balance on your provider end it's low or something. You can just try that out, just not to waste time, so I can't go through all that. So yeah, just add a phone number without the preceding zero. This may be 081, it's just starting, it will be starting with just 81, blah blah blah. So same thing with your WhatsApp line and the group link. Does it about that. So enable crypto. So all this part are just basic informations which you can just go through. Okay, let's go over that. You can just choose a payment gateway. So we have the monify and we have the pay stack here. So you just have to just enter your keys and then everything is going to be working fine. So same applies to the pay stack. You can just see that, enter your keys here and it's going to work. So airtime to cash. So for those who want to like run airtime to cash transactions or something, you have to just fill in this with some basic informations, and then the coupon system for generating coupon. So there will be explained deeply, they will be talked on deeply on next tutorial. So the MLM settings, the user packages, that's the user level packages. Maybe you want to create levels like resellers, customers or something, VIP or API users, so make use of that part. Users, so all ban users, KYC for know your customer, whereby you can just approve them, you can ban them, so just to grant them access to some certain things. The mask is just some or secondary part of the system whereby you can resolve database if in case if you have database issue. So the folder or scan to just check if there is an issue with some folders or something, so we can just scan now and then see if we can fix the folders or whatever. And at the same time, we can just check out our security system. We can enable that, we can disable that. So this, okay, you can see this part is redirecting back to the status page. So if at all you click on any pages here, or maybe the message or something, and it's redirecting you back to this part here, it means that you have no access to that service or that portion. So I'm not having access, I have no access to the security system, so it's taking me back to this part here. So the gateway, this is where you connect to your provider. On vtupress, one of the key points here is you have access to numerous providers here. You have access to providers, then same with data. Let me check out data. So you can see that here, you can see there are list of providers which you can just connect to, 30 of them. So settings here, this way just enter maybe your API key or some setups like setting of prices or something. You can see that here. So there are just some, that's just basic things which you can just fill out. So add-ons are just extensions which you might need. You don't necessarily need to install everything. It's not actually recommended to install everything, except if you need them or you need them for something and you know what you're really doing. You can just install all add-ons like that without making use of them. So you can see there's an update here. It means that there's, okay, you can see my current version is 127 and there's the data version is 129, so I need to update. So and the last part here is to visit to view the dashboard itself. So this is the dashboard, so you can see that here. This is what we've done before. So that's just a brief overview on vtupress. That's just a brief overview. Just by the time you just mingle with it, you check on, you can see that everything, it's gonna be smooth and you get used to it and you enjoy the whole system very fast. So thank you, and we'll see on other videos.